Latest figures show that 1,560 people lost their lives on Britain's roads in 2021. That is a rise of 7% after a fall during the pandemic. The number of people killed and seriously injured exceeded 27,000, a 13% rise. Project Edward, or Every Day Without a Road Death, is an energetic engagement initiative closely aligned to the SAFE system, and through carefully planned road trips during their week of actions, it seeks to showcase and share examples of good practice from right across the country. Stuart Lovett coordinated one of these road trips in 2022, and he thinks that Project Edward is going from strength to strength.
Because it's a national campaign, it is well understood. So that's why you've got the backing of the Minister, you've got the backing of the NPPC lead, Joe Shiner. But also it is well understood. Because if you're just running a local initiative, then why would somebody in another part of the country particularly understand it? Unless it's won an award, which of course Project Edward has done.
This year's Week of Action took the theme of changing minds, changing behaviour. And here's Darren Lindsay of the Edward team to explain.
A question we've been asked a number of times is, where did this come from? And it's not one individual. It started off, believe it or not, off the back of last year's Project Edward. And it was about changing minds from what we'd seen there, of what's going on in and around the country. But we were advised by a steering committee to say, why stop there? Why don't you take this the next step further and not just changing mind, but what about changing behaviour? And there was a number of conflicting opinions in the room, believe it or not, because some people said, how can you change behaviour? Is it possible just through a campaign? Do you know, the honest answer is, no, we're not confessing to say that we will change behaviour from what we do, but we will certainly nudge the indicator towards that way in partnership with all the other key stakeholders as well.
One of the many events from this year's Week of Action happened in Leeds, where the City Council used the occasion to launch its Vision Zero strategy.
My name is Alison Lowe and I'm the Deputy Mayor for Policing and Crime in West Yorkshire.
Gary Bartlett, Chief Officer for Highways and Transportation at Leeds City Council.
Every day without a road death is massively powerful. People are dying on our roads every day. My own sister died many years ago, and I know how that felt for my family. I know how that felt for our community. On our board, we have people with lived experience who have lost family members as a result of poor driving or crashes that could have been avoided, and it devastates lives, it devastates our communities. So every day without a road death is an incredible contribution to health and well-being, to community cohesion, to happy, healthy lives. So it's a brilliant initiative, and it's an initiative that we need to get behind because not only does it support the Vision Zero work that we're doing, but it's definitely speaking to all the people that we're serving here in West Yorkshire. It's saving their lives, it's saving their futures, and that's what we need to be doing.
We need to change behaviour. Over 400 people killed and seriously injured on Leeds' roads each year, probably about 20-25 people killed. And when I look at the fatal reports that come across my desk, and you see the causation factors there in terms of drink, drugs, speeding, injudicious movements, turning movements by cars, most of them are avoidable. Very few, if any, are related to the highway itself. It's bad driving or other factors. And so they are avoidable, and we can do something about it, but it requires people to change their approach and how they travel on the network.
The Leeds City Council high-profile Vision Zero launch event brought together guests from public and private sector, with emergency services and academics, as well as representatives of the media. It was an ideal example of how to maximise engagement through partnership with Project Edward. A different sort of activity took place in London on another day in their Week of Action, a day dedicated to safe speeds on our roads. It was their first high-profile event with the Metropolitan Police, the UK's largest force, and according to Inspector Daniel Arnold, it was a good day for effective public engagement.
From a policing point of view, we work really well with the Project Edward team, so we're looking at focusing this week on the NPCC speed campaign, where we're looking to enforce people that are actively engaging in speed. And we're looking to reduce people's speed. But by reducing people's speed, we can reduce collisions, and by reducing collisions, we can reduce road deaths. The Project Edward team, I think it is a good initiative. I think it's a really diverse initiative. They're looking at a focus of many different aspects to road usage, and looking at really doing what we should be doing, and that is just trying to make the road space safer for everybody.
As well as London and Leeds, there were events in Oxford, Brighton, Telford, Cardiff, Warwick and other cities across the UK, and support came from local authority road safety teams, community groups, old driver groups and virtual reality developers. Safety organisations such as the British Horse Society were also there, and they were part of a public engagement event at a busy garden centre in Warwickshire.
Project Edward has become a week where everybody wants to get involved to actually try and increase the awareness of the safety initiatives from all the people that are here at this garden centre today. I think it's actually reaching drivers that perhaps ordinarily we wouldn't reach. We've got everybody here. It's allowing people to come and talk to us and impart some knowledge and some advice so how they can stay safer on the road. So I think it's important that we get out and speak to drivers that ordinarily we wouldn't be able to reach.
The task of the Project Edward team is to capture what's going on and share through their extensive network. 2022 saw more than 40 million impressions on the Edward hashtag, as well as a radio campaign that amassed 21 hours of on-air time across regional and national stations, reaching nearly 44 million listeners nationwide. Additionally, there were stories in the national, motoring and business press, with total reach estimated at more than 68 million. Now of course, Project Edward can't do this all on its own, and the help and backing of sponsors proves invaluable in meeting targets and achieving success.
I was a road policing officer for 30 years before I joined Wescotec, so I have seen both sides of what can happen on the roads, and I'm passionate about preventing those unnecessary deaths. And Project Edward, in my eyes, is one of the most efficient, most long-lasting, most outreaching project to try and prevent those and work towards that ultimate goal of every day without a road death. So Wescotec will continue to support Project Edward for the foreseeable future.
Setting the whole thing up takes 4 to 6 months, but we're here, and we're here thankfully down to the private sector partners. And this is how we're able to do it. You'll probably see on the Project Edward car today that's just here to my left here, you'll see there's a number of different sponsors on that. We're very grateful to them for their support. Some give financial support, some give benefit in kind, shall we say, of helping us make this happen. But the financial support from them allows us to put what we're doing today on the road and that, and create, we're hoping, really good engaging content for others to use.
For as long as there are deaths on our roads, there will be a need for Project Edward. The support and backing of sponsors enable their efforts to continue as they work towards the Vision Zero Day, where there will be no deaths in road traffic collisions.
It's everyone's business to eradicate road deaths. It's everyone's business to keep our community safe. And I think that if we work together to achieve that objective, every day without a road death will become a reality.
So, can you be a part of Project Edward? Would you like to share the great work done in your area? Are you interested in supporting a forthcoming week of action? And lastly, could Project Edward work in your country? Get in touch and let's start a conversation. Project Edward, for every day without a road death.